In 2002, he was standing at the starting gate of the Salt Lake City Winter Olympics, representing Canada on the world stage. 2 decades later, the FBI called him
The modern-day El Chapo.
an alleged cartel mastermind responsible for moving 60 metric tons of cocaine across North America every single year. His real name is Ryan James Wedding, but inside the underworld, he was known simply as El Jefe, the boss. Working alongside the Sinaloa Cartel, federal prosecutors allege Wedding ran one of the most ruthless logistics empires in history, moving billions in narco freight using long-haul semi-trucks. And when anyone got in his way, the FBI says he didn't just hide, he fought back, orchestrating gangland-style hits and placing massive bounties on federal witnesses to protect his network. For over 10 years, Wedding vanished into the shadows, evading Interpol, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and a multi-million-dollar FBI reward. Operating right out of Mexico, how does a man go from carving alpine snow at the Olympics to building a billion-dollar narco syndicate under the protection of the world's most dangerous cartels? This is the unbelievable true story of Ryan Wedding and the empire that finally caught up to him. To understand how Ryan Wedding became one of the most wanted men on Earth, you have to go back to the snow. Growing up in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Wedding was obsessed with speed. He channeled that drive into parallel giant slalom snowboarding, eventually earning a spot on Team Canada for the 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Olympic Games. He was just 20 years old. He placed 24th in the world. But when the Olympic lights faded, Wedding struggled to transition into normal life. He tried university, he tried real estate, he worked as a nightclub bouncer, but the adrenaline of world-class competition couldn't be replaced by a standard 9-to-5. According to law enforcement, Wedding found his new thrill in criminal enterprise, first financing operations through a massive secret indoor marijuana farm in British Columbia, and then moving into much heavier territory. In 2008, Wedding attempted to buy 24 kilograms of cocaine from a buyer in San Diego. What he didn't know was that the seller was an undercover U.S. federal agent. Wedding was arrested, convicted, and sentenced to 4 years in U.S. federal prison. Most people thought a prison sentence would be the end of Ryan Wedding's story. In reality, it was just the brutal beginning. Inside federal custody, Wedding didn't reform. He networked. He made high-level connections with organized crime figures and international smugglers. When he was released, Wedding didn't go back to Canada to live quietly. He slipped across the border into Mexico and aligned himself directly with the leadership of the Sinaloa Cartel. Using his athletic discipline and an obsession with operational security, Wedding built a transnational supply chain that functioned like a Fortune 500 company. The pipeline was massive. High-grade cocaine was sourced in South America, shipped through Mexico into Southern California, and then loaded into long-haul commercial semi-trucks heading straight across the Canadian border. His organization moved hundreds of kilograms every single week, generating an estimated $1 billion a year in illicit revenue. Wedding lived like a ghost, using encrypted messaging apps, ghost identities, and fake passports to direct hitmen and logistics managers from hidden compounds in Mexico. But as his empire grew, so did the trail of violence. Federal prosecutors allege that when debts went unpaid or associates threatened to talk, Wedding ordered ruthless executions. In late 2023, hitmen opened fire on a family in Ontario over a stolen drug shipment, killing 2 innocent family members in a tragic case of mistaken identity. Months later, another associate was gunned down over an unpaid drug debt. Then came the line that changed everything. In early 2025, a key federal witness cooperating with U.S. authorities was tracked down in Medellin, Colombia, and executed with 5 bullets to the head. Investigators allege Wedding himself ordered the hit, even utilizing his defense attorney to help coordinate information on the witness. By crossing the line into witness assassination, Wedding triggered a massive international response. The FBI placed Wedding on its famous 10 Most Wanted Fugitives list, slapping a staggering $15 million reward on his head, one of the largest bounties in modern history. Code-named Operation Giant Slalom, a joint strike force involving the FBI, the DEA, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and Mexican authorities began systematically dismantling his network from the inside out. They seized tons of cocaine, millions in cryptocurrency, and arrested dozens of his key lieutenants across North America. With his money frozen and his protective umbrella in Mexico crumbling under intense diplomatic pressure, the walls finally closed in. The decade-long manhunt culminated when Wedding was taken into custody by federal authorities and flown directly to California to face justice. Appearing in a Santa Ana courthouse, the former Olympic athlete pleaded not guilty to 17 federal felonies, including leading a continuing criminal enterprise, drug trafficking, and multiple counts of murder. Today, Ryan Wedding sits behind bars without bail, facing a mandatory minimum sentence of life in federal prison if convicted. From standing on the Olympic stage representing his country to facing a lifetime behind bars as one of the world's most notorious crime lords, Ryan Wedding's story serves as a chilling reminder of how quickly discipline and ambition can curdle into chaos.